Probably. I just turned on the sound. He is available.
Clayton, did you get my email?
His boys in the
When I
army.
sent back about the speed?
He's overseas.
Yeah, yeah,
I
okay.
think so.
No, I graduated.
They all said they like lump together. I need to stop almost whenever they just like go over one another. So I know I think I received okay from all of you. I should have that here.
I did too.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
78.
Do you know any Malins?
You got 6.
Malin? Yeah, Chris Malin?
Seconds, we got seconds to go.
My watch just got fixed up at Icorn Brewery, it's right on the money.
Do we know what ordinance number would be next?
Yep.
Rachel say that in her email.
I don't think so.
Did you get the agenda back there?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You guys, looked over your minutes? Yes. I'll entertain a motion for acceptance.
I'll make a motion to accept last month's minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, new business. Let's start with Justin. Go ahead, Justin.
Can we start with Chris? Because there's some stuff that'll tag team with Clayton on my end.
Yeah, and Chris, I want to talk to you after the meeting. Okay. Thanks. Go ahead, Chris.
Really don't have anything. We have a practice this Saturday, 6 to 10. Same probably be here for the kids. Activity report, we did 9 calls last month, 4 of which were fire related, 2 motor vehicle crashes and 2 medical calls. Aside from that, really don't have anything. Unless you have any questions for me.
Guys?
Nope.
Thanks, Chris. All right, Justin.
I'll take my time till he gets back. So first, we did do another water service replacement last month. And let's see here. We're going to be installing the remainder of the services that we have in town. There's 5. And then all the services on any vacant lots will be installed and ready to use once the lots sell. So, we did not get a grant this year. We have a ready-to-go project for a road, a very good ready-to-go project. So we'll try again next year. I am going to reach out and see what it would cost to do a small mill and fill style pavement project, possibly targeting Hawker and Studebaker Street. We do have, we got money budgeted. It's better to use that money whenever we can do a larger project, and we could have incorporated this into a couple other areas as well. But this was the cards we were dealt this year, so we'll see. If it doesn't really seem feasible, then we'll just wait and we'll move on, hold the money and make it work for us another time. I got updated numbers on Polk Street to utilize if we were to go the CCMG route. The reconstruction, utilizing the concrete stabilization is 1.395. That is if it gets drug out to 2029 and kind of worked in with the 124 project so that we're not beating the tar out of it. Because if we do it before then, that road will get hammered. And then it's just back to square one. So if we don't push it out that far, The cost really isn't a lot different, but it was like 1.2, almost 1.3 instead of almost 1.4. So that's where we're at with that. That does not change anything in relationships to the school entrance. Those costs are the costs. Unless if we don't go a roundabout method, then you turn that into the turn lane style or whatever. That could be figured into the CCMG, which will only up the cost of it, but it's a one-shot deal then. So I do want to have some other conversations with some other entities, but some of the things that we'll have to do to move forward anyhow are going to be coring. We'll get multiple cores, possibly with some of this money that we've got budgeted, not using next year, to see how that road's built, what's going on with it prior to any construction. That'll give us a better idea as to what we're going to be up against. So we've done those before on other roads just to get a feel for what we're getting into prior to tearing them up or milling them. And I know that there are some issues with Andrew Street. I talked to Brooks. They are going to fix it next year. But he thought that it was due to heavy trucks driving on it and it pushed the asphalt out. The cracks that I was seeing right across from the park were as wide as my hand. I mean, I could get my hand down in it. So they are going to fix it. He said it probably should have never happened. But there was no explanation for it. So the other cracks that you see on there that's running lengthwise is where we did deep mill to try and replace the base underneath the bad sections that were really crumbling up real bad. And that's just par for the course. You're either going to get them horizontally or vertically, and it will show up from time to time running down those trench lines. So
As far as those cracks go, I mean, are they kind of blaming it on Zerkers and trucks?
they didn't blame it on anybody. He didn't say that was what caused it.
Okay.
I mean, he made the comment that it looked like it based on what he sees in the past, but he said it should have never happened. So
Even if trucks were going down there, it should have never happened.
yeah.
Well, they shouldn't.
Not that, especially that soon, but there's not supposed to be trucks down there anyway.
No, there should not be any trucks down that way anyway.
I've never seen a truck go down there.
Oh, they do all the time.
Occasionally.
Not as bad as it used to be, but
Oh, it used to be terrible.
it happens still. So, let me see if I can catch up here in my notes. I did meet with NDOT. The project is on their books. They did budget a bunch of money for it, so that it's going to be done right. There'll be more to come in the future. I'm not going to dive into that tonight. But I was very excited to hear the number that was going to be invested, so that we're not stuck putting a bill on repairs down the line. So,
Lean 124.
right.
What is that project slated to start?
They got it on the books for 2029. It'll let July 11th of 2029 is when it's scheduled to go, which is their fancy word for bidding. They said it would take a couple months to get those numbers back, and then they would award the project. So construction probably wouldn't start until spring of 2030. So,
They're still planning on doing it in 3 sections,
4 sections.
4 sections.
Yeah, and there'll be more to come. There'll be public meetings and different things happening. So now, getting into some of this other stuff here. I reached out to the new parks director to ask if we would have the ability and permission to add a sidewalk down Andrew Street in front of the park. Kind of one of those ADA prep for when we get that park, to get our ducks in a row and get a sidewalk in there. He did get permission from a board member. I do have a quote. I actually received 2 quotes. The low quote was from Schwartz Contracting for $13,275.
How much?
$13,275.
Okay.
That would happen this year, weather permitting. He said it's not wise to pour sidewalks in the wintertime, and so if you are good with him, with his bid, then we could accept the quote and enter into this agreement. And then Clayton has some paperwork that will give us an agreement with the Parks Board to allow us to make upgrades to the park as they come, prior to us taking it over. Also, we would need to encumber the funds from the sidewalks this year to next year because we missed the sidewalk funds in our budget. So we have no sidewalk money next year, so we would have to encumber the funds this year and use them funds next year. His price is good through May of 2026. So if you're okay with that, then Clayton's got some paperwork, I've got some paperwork, and we'll be able to move forward.
Do we have the money in the sidewalks fund for this?
We got the money in the sidewalk fund this year, but not next year. That's why we gotta roll this fund.
Well, we have to roll this fund over.
We have to roll this fund to next year in order to do this next year. Otherwise, we don't have money for sidewalks next year. We just missed it. I was going back through the budget after, like, where's our sidewalk money? It was a miss.
So that Maumee River project, or the River Basin project, they're supposed to be letting us know as far as, like, stormwater and everything.
The study hasn't started yet, though.
Right. But that kind of gives us an idea of what we're looking at as far as the park, correct?
Right, their first phase is the entire surrounding area of Monroe
Right.
and that ditch and pond at the park.
And that kind of gives us an idea of if it's even, we can utilize that as far as growing it, correct?
We'll be able to grow, I mean, you can gain storage out there. You gotta deplete that hill. You gotta let contractors take dirt from that hill and make it smaller. You can add storage to the pond. One of the things that we asked them to look at was, could we turn that into a wetlands, not have to mow it, then that would lower it even more. Right now, it's got a slope, so that it all slopes to the drain. If we can utilize it as a wetlands, you flatten it out.
I was just thinking that as far as my understanding went, we were kind of waiting to see what they had to say before we started doing anything with.
Per discussion I had with the county surveyor, he would like to see the park stay with the county until we know what's going on. That's why the interlocal agreement kind of covers, so the interlocal agreement will cover sidewalks, any upgrades to equipment, if there's any trails that we can put in back there. I mean, it covers any upgrades, but it doesn't transfer the ownership.
Right.
And it still keeps it so that as long as it's the county's, the ADA around the equipment doesn't have to be changed. That can be, I've talked to Clayton, we'll address that later, but.
We're still running the issue with easements on both sides of it, correct?
The easement is the easement, it's 75 foot
Right.
regardless. So you got 150 feet across that drain. Each side of the pond, 75 foot.
So where I'm coming from is, do we want to waste $13,000 in sidewalk? And
That's not really changed nothing. I've already met with the drainage board,
Okay.
the county surveyor. The sidewalk doesn't,
Which I'm not saying that the sidewalk's going to cause an issue going on there. What I'm saying is that if we can't do more updates to it because of these easements, like why are we even looking at that park? Why don't we look at building a new one somewhere else?
You got a good existing park. You know what it's gonna cost to build a new park?
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking.
You got one to build on, and you're not gonna not be able to update it. That study's not gonna tell you cannot update the park.
Okay.
It's just gonna take a little time.
At this point in the juncture, I think it's the best of both worlds for us right at this point in time, if you ask me.
One thing I'm concerned about in reading your report is that the county surveyor wants to put everything on halt until the report is done.
He doesn't wanna transfer it.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure until everybody feels comfortable. I feel good about earmarking $13,000 for sidewalks. I'm all for rolling it over because we gotta roll it over.
You can't roll it over without a project.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I was going too with it, is the fact that.
We put in the sidewalk and then it goes down south and we don't take ownership.
What are you worried that's gonna happen?
That was, sorry.
I don't understand what you're worried about happening. They're not gonna not transition that park.
I would hope not. It sounds good,
The
but
issue that he has is, if there's something that can be done through grant money, and the county still has the park, then they have, because they've got the drainage, the county has the park. We have the spillway in the back.
correct.
So he doesn't want to jeopardize, it was my understanding, he doesn't want to jeopardize grant funding.
So is it possible to look for grant funding for this, for us to do for this? Oppose us?
We're all partnering with the MRBC. It all will go through them, right, Steve? Is that my understanding?
That's correct, and I spoke with the engineer yesterday, ran into him at a conference yesterday, and they just signed the contract to begin the work, like within the last week or so, so I think that is gonna start now as far as their study, but I've spoken with both the park board and with the county commissioners, and Clayton, I'm not sure what the MOU says, but both of those entities would have already signed that park over to you had there not been this thought of we might be able to use the land transfer as an in-kind type of contribution toward a grant that could be used to improve the stormwater management through the town. So I think there's just that, yeah, but let's wait and see if there's some advantage we can use in a future date of actually transferring that land. There's no thought either on the part of the park board or the county commissioners that we don't want the town of Monroe ultimately to own and control that park. The other thing I'll tell you from the drainage board and the drainage easement perspective, the concern they have there is that if there has to be some maintenance done on that drain, that there not be some structure there that has to be removed or destroyed to get maintenance done on that drain. I would say as long as you're not building a building or doing something that would create a significant impediment to maintaining that drain through there, I don't think the drainage board would have any problem giving you a waiver to do whatever you want to do in that easement, other than build a building.
Right. You don't want to put basketball courts, or you don't want to put cricket
Yeah.
over the pickleball over the top of that, because that's not a cheap, those aren't expensive things to do. So I don't see why they wouldn't give us a variance to build within that right of way either, or easement. They just want to protect it for, like Steve was
They have to
saying,
dig it up.
So would this sidewalk just be on Andrew Street?
for right now. It will wrap. The plan is to make it wrap, and we'll budget money next year so that we can finish it. This just gets us going because nobody used the sidewalk fund this year, so I'll put it to use.
I mean, there's no sidewalks right now on anywhere else on Andrews, right? Except for across the street right
It
there.
cuts across the street, right.
How are those looking?
These are all right.
I mean, they're not.
We're gonna have to modify them a little bit because you have to put some sort of a crosswalk there, and we'll have to add an ADA,
What's that?
the bubble pads. We'll have to add an ADA pad on the other side for the crossing, but I mean, it's all improvements. Everybody gets mad that kids ride their golf carts up and down the road and play in the middle of the street. You want them in the middle of the street, or you want them on the sidewalk? The town could be better. I grew up without sidewalks, but that was years and years ago. Like, it's different now. People drive like idiots. Give them a sidewalk to walk on.
Just for reference to, when Justin references paperwork, so the paperwork, what it would be the form of a proposed resolution to encumber those funds in contemplation for the project, if the project due to inclement weather cannot be completed this year, right? The other two documents, or the other document relevant to this discussion, would be an interlocal agreement for property improvements that I already prepared. That would be between the Town of Monroe as a municipal corporation and the Board of Parks and Recreation of Adams County. This interlocal agreement for property improvements, and one, tonight, it's obviously not necessarily even signed by the Parks Board. It's not been presented to the Parks Board. So, I mean, I wouldn't be asking you tonight to sign this, but more for a motion to accept it and to take it to the Parks Board for signature and end execution, or approval if you want to. But I will note that this does, I mean, have a section 2 in it. It talks about the current ownership, as of the effective date of the agreement. It's owned by the Parks Board, but then 2.2 goes into the intent to transfer. That states the parties enter into this agreement in good faith and with the mutual understanding and intent that the Parks Board will convey the property to the Town of Monroe via the future transfer, which was previously defined. The parties agree to work cooperatively and diligently to effectuate the future transfer as soon as is reasonably practicable by the parties. And again, this was the agreement that I wanted because, specifically because I think when Justin brought it up, I said exactly what you guys said is, well, Justin, you're not putting a sidewalk on somebody else's property. But I think this interlocal agreement, and I'm sure Steve on behalf of the county to some extent would agree, solidifies and provides security to the Town of Monroe if that would fall through. To the extent, I think if for some reason it would fall through, it would then be more of a discussion with the Parks Board of, hey, the Town of Monroe would now like it reimbursed for improving that property with this sidewalk. And I don't think, I've been wrong before, I don't think though that they would provide a lot of pushback to that.
That makes sense.
So essentially, this is a pre-approval before the interlocal.
Well, with that in mind, what do you guys think?
Yeah, and
I think with the explanation, I feel a whole lot better, and I want to go on record for saying I don't think the county would leave us high and dry. I don't think that would happen, but we're asking to put a bunch of money into a project that we don't know that's guaranteed that it's done deal, and no signatures have been made.
And our Parks Board asked, and I apologize for cutting you off, but our Parks Board asked what's going on. This gives them the ability to start thinking about things.
And what Clayton just brought up, that kind of reassures me. I mean, my biggest thing is this: we are asked to be good stewards of the money that the town has and our citizens. And I want to make sure that we're not throwing a bunch of money into something that, that kind of concerned me when I read it. Was the county surveyor says, man, I want to hold off. Well, the explanation seems, I understand that, and I'll agree to that. So. I feel comfortable with that.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and use the sidewalk fund, roll it over, and so we can do the sidewalk on Andrew Street in front of the park next year.
I'll second.
And I'll go through the specific documents on my time.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
I gave you my copy with his stuff for the contract. Next I've got, a proposal for surveying for water main over around the 4-H and County Highway Garage, that we talked about last month. This did come in considerably lower than the engineer's estimate I had gotten on this from our engineer that we usually use, Wessler. It's broken out into a way that we can accept it how it's spelled out. We pay these amounts as we want to do them. So topographic survey is $7,000. Easement exhibits and descriptions is $1,000. And then the engineering and permitting end of it is $13,000. So right now, to get the ball rolling, we're gonna have to have a survey regardless. And so my proposal is to accept this as written, and I verified this with MLS, that we can split these out as we start each phase. So
And what are we getting with this again? I'm sorry.
the only way I can add or increase the size of a water main is to have it engineered. So in order for us to make any improvements that would require the upsizing of a water main or the addition of a water main where there is no water main, requires it to be engineered. So we're looking at creating a fix for a couple dead-end areas, which will improve water flow and fix a water quality in essence.
Water flow for around 4-H, like the houses?
It would improve it around the county highway garage. It would improve it. There's a loop that runs around the school gym and cuts through the county property. When this is all done, and I don't know that it's probably not gonna happen for a few years, but when it's all done, that loop will be eliminated through the property, and that will become a service. That will only service the county highway. Then if they need to make improvements, there's nothing that we have running through there. It's all their line.
Have you talked with them, and did they plan on upside, or doing anything differently, or?
As far as,
Well, I mean, if this really affects them.
it already has affected them because they've wanted to do stuff and they can't build over the top or within so many feet of the water main. So they have to adjust what they want to do because of that water main running through there.
Do we have the funds for this?
Yeah, we got the funds for it.
Okay.
So if they can't build because there's water mains there, are they willing to take on some of the cost?
That's not the way this is working. I mean, this is something that we do on our end. Like when the school did their addition, they wanted to put on a big addition, and it was, you need to replace the water main. You can't run it under the building.
Right.
So they have the room, the county highway over there had the room to move their stuff without the effect. But we have a dead end in the middle of the 4-H grounds. We have some other problems in the middle of 4-H grounds that need fixed. And the only way to do it is
So when you say problems, what does that mean?
service connections, no valves. It's just old pipe, AC, you know.
So the chance of them breaking is high.
Yeah, I mean, we've already dug out there. That's what we did 2 months ago. That's how we found the issues. That's what kind of brought the, let's get this out of here. Let's update it, give it something current.
Are there hydrants on that line?
There's one right in the middle of the 4-H grounds where it stops. Yeah, it's a good place for a hydrant.
Could that, are hydrants gonna be added?
It's,
I'm just asking,
that hydrant in the middle will go away.
yeah.
The line will carry through. When we do this, the plan is carry the line through to either the east side of the middle drive and add a hydrant there, because it's gonna be done in phases. So that could be a phase. To swing around up Polk Street and tie in the county garage, that could be a phase. and then looping it down behind the stage and tying it in behind the county garage property where the school ties back in.
You'll be able to add a bigger hydrant, correct, if you're gonna increase?
It will go to a 6-inch line, which would, yeah, it would increase the connection for that hydrant, correct?
And then would this kind of help out with the Polk Street project?
Well, yeah, that Polk Street, so that's 6-inch, running from the county garage all the way down to the north end of the town.
Okay.
That can be replaced. We can do up to 1,000 feet a year, like for like. So it's 6-inch now, we can put 6-inch in. So that doesn't require permitting.
How big is the line going to Strick right now?
6-inch.
And-
6 inches all around Strick. And 6-inch comes off of Van Buren. But Strick moved their service. They used to have 2 meters. They've since, this year, they moved their service from the front of the building back to where their wash bay is and eliminated a meter to clean up their area because they needed more room. And so we don't need their service anymore, so we can go up to the hydrant that's out in the front, inside the fence where the trailer's set, and eliminate it right there, cap it off, tie the hydrant in, and carry it back to the county garage. That's kind of the plan to prep for Polk Street. And then we don't have a whole lot of issue whenever we do Polk Street as far as water goes. We do got sewer though.
Go ahead.
Justin, you're probably already aware of this, but, 4-H board made a presentation to the commissioners on Tuesday. There is some consideration to them actually adding a new building. They're talking about moving their offices permanently out to the 4-H grounds. That may necessitate them actually building a new building or getting rid of the Clover Center and building more of an office type service building there. I would just, before you do, you might want to ask some questions there before you assume that they aren't going to go out there and screw up your plan over the next couple of years.
And I've talked to Kurt already.
Good.
He was on site when we was digging.
Good deal, as long as you're in the loop there. I just wanted, that was pretty fresh news to me, so I just wanted to
I
make
didn't
sure.
know
you
that they were
aware.
talking about that, but Kurt is aware of what we were talking
Good deal,
about.
good deal. Well, that's that, it didn't sound to me like it was gonna have a big impact on what you're trying to do there, but they are talking about possibly building a new building or taking that Clover Center and expanding it significantly, to move their offices permanently out.
Okay.
Just so you know. That was fresh to us as of Tuesday's meeting.
And if we do go through and replace that and add on, that building's far enough away that our project to improve would not impact their project.
What sounds to me like that, what you're talking about would be an assistance to what they're talking about doing, additive and not a negative to what they're trying to do, but
Yeah,
so
'cause
make
they'll-
sure you were planning on putting a hydrant in the middle of where they want to build a building.
No, and I think that they would probably want a new service for that building whenever that's done.
I'm sure they would, and again, that's all very preliminary, but that was the first I heard of it was Tuesday.
Okay. So right now, it's a total of $21,000, but we're committing $7,000 right now for a survey. That starts the ball, that gets the ball rolling on the job. And whenever it comes back, again, we'll do civil engineering and permitting. And permits are open for, I think, 2 years, and then you gotta renew them. So,
What do you guys think? I think we ought to do it, so let's make a motion to that.
Well, I got one more question. So if it's only good for 2 years, like, you're gonna have to have another one done with the Polk Street project, correct? Is that something we can tie in when we're getting closer to that project?
you don't gotta do one for the Polk Street project.
Oh, you don't?
It's like for like.
Okay.
If you're like for like, you don't have to permit if it's under 1,000 feet.
Okay.
And I've measured it up already.
Okay. All right. I'm good.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the $7,000 Did you want all of it, or you just the 7?
I mean, if you wanna approve the scope,
Yeah.
and then we'll phase it out. That's what I asked him, because I said, if I do this, can we do this and then do this, and we're ready to advance, then do this? And he said yes. So,
Because it's been budgeted, correct?
it's always
For the whole
budgeted.
thing, yeah. I'll make a motion for all $21,000 for the water main at the 4-H.
And then
I'll second that.
as needed.
As needed, as needed.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. 3-0. Okay.
And then lastly, I've got, let's see, Clayton's got some interlocal agreement stuff. Survey. Did you get anything on that roadway annexation? No.
That we still need from
Okay.
Rachel? No.
Well, I talked to her about it, and so we gotta do some digging yet.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Just to bring it to light, we found out that the county still owns the maintenance and stuff on Polk Street north of Strick. So whenever we accepted that quitclaim deed from the county for the 225 feet of roadway out there on Polk, well, we found out after that was all done and over with that it was still the county's property all the way to the highway. So we're gonna be quitclaiming that back to the county. There's no sense in us having 225 feet past the town limits, and they have, what, they didn't realize they had. So we gotta do that, and then,
Because that was done, and I don't want, we can talk about more later, but because that was done so recently, where have you been seeing that we have to annex it back in?
it would affect any grant monies. Because.
But I'm just saying, isn't it I mean, with the.
I don't think it was annexed out.
Exactly.
They deeded it,
But we never
so it's
annexed
ours,
it.
but how do they do work on our property? Like what we're doing with the park?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
But then we'll have to annex, to increase our road mileage with NDOT, we're gonna have to annex South Van Buren on that stretch out to the bus garage that we did the same time we did Polk Street, so that whenever it comes time and we do South Van Buren, we can repave all the way out to the bus garage where the town limits actually stops. Half of it or something was ours and half of it was theirs, and we straightened all that up through the description and legal survey that Brett did for us. So that'll be coming next year in a couple months probably. And then Rachel gave me some contracts for the stormwater study. Clayton, she said you saw these? She said she sent them to you.
Like, I think very late in the
They're
afternoon.
not, they're both quotes.
I think she just was trying to inform you all just with proposals so that you guys can start looking at them. Right?
I'm not 100% certain. It was brought up a couple months ago to look at a stormwater study. It was whenever the Maumee River Basin stuff all started, to look at what it would be for a stormwater fee and allow us to build a fund that would grow and not just budget repair money every year. So there's one from Crone and there's one from Baker Tilly.
So whenever we were talking with the Three Rivers Basin, we talked about them doing that along with another study. Is that, trying to remember, but I can't.
You're talking about a rate study, right, Justin?
This is a stormwater rate study.
Rate study.
This
Yeah,
is the stormwater.
Yeah, what the Maumee River Basin's doing is they're looking at a study of the amount of rainfall and where all of it
That's what the
goes.
difference is, it's a rate study.
Right, yeah.
Again, I think she was meaning it to be more informational. I'm sure she can, if she hasn't already today, sent digital copies to every one of those.
Yeah,
I think
she did.
the purpose of that is obviously, I think at least in Rachel's opinion, and I don't want to speak too much for her, but in Rachel's opinion, A lot of the general fund deals with issues that normally a stormwater fund would deal with, so that can put the general fund in a bit of a strain. So obviously you need to have a stormwater rate study done prior to creating a stormwater fund. So that's, I think, what she's trying to provide you all with those quotes to see, one, if you want to do it, and so you can identify the price of that study if so.
I'd like to look at, yeah.
And to be fair, I have not looked at those either yet, but it definitely is.
I read through it quick today.
It will be my practice to look through it because
Yeah.
it's very much a consultant's contract and just want to make sure that it's fair.
I know that one of
Should we,
them.
would we be prudent in tabling it so you have a better look at it, so you can give us an informed opinion?
I think that those are meant, I don't think you have to make any action tonight. I think they're purely informational at this
Okay.
point and just meant to, have further discussions and make a decision here in the near future.
'Cause I think she sent that around 1 o'clock today.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was late.
since
It
I've
fell
been
through the
online,
cracks.
I've only had my phone, and I'm sorry, I can't read the contract that well on the cell phone, so I would like to look at it.
Is that all you got then, Justin?
That's all I got.
Okay. Moving on, we're gonna go to commercial here, so, okay, Clayton.
One, just trying to see, one, did you get from Rachel what the next ordinance would be if she texted back? And that does not necessarily matter, I can figure that out after and we can word it in a way, it's not a huge.
She thought it was 6.
That's okay, that was my recollection as well. Maybe ask her about resolution too, since I had a resolution. You already approved the minutes at the beginning, previous minutes. At the
Yes,
beginning of the
we
meeting,
did.
right? Sorry, I'm just trying to kind of cover Rachel's bases for it too. Did you also approve monthly expenses?
No,
No.
No.
Okay. So that's one that I may have Justin run and have him go get. I'll start in through all my stuff. First one would be then the Town of Monroe's 2025 salary ordinance. So ordinance 2025-6 with compensation schedule for 2026. It remains this. Well, you've all reviewed it. I guess, do you have any questions?
I don't, you guys. Okay, all we need to do is accept it. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, the next, keep these in order. The next would be then labeled as ordinance number 2025-7, which is short titled, and this is an introduction of an ordinance of the Town of Monroe, Indiana, establishing speed limits on East Andrews Street and Memorial Drive. Rather than reading through the whole thing, I will read the definitions for everyone, especially the media. So East Andrews Street, for the purposes of this agreement, shall mean the segment of East Andrews Street located east of its intersection with South Keller Street, extending to where East Andrews Street becomes Memorial Drive, and Memorial Drive shall mean the entire length of Memorial Drive. I guess for anybody that's not familiar with the roads, that's really the road that goes back to the Ball Diamonds and the road that goes along the parking lot of the Ball Diamonds. Speed limit shall obviously mean the maximum lawful speed at which a vehicle may travel on the designated roadway. So what will happen if this ordinance is adopted is that East Andrews Street and as defined herein, the speed limit will be changed to 15 miles per hour for all vehicles traveling that segment, and that is the same for the entire length of Memorial Drive. So, are there any questions? I will say, so we do have to have, really all I would ask is, a motion for acceptance of introduction tonight because I will have to
Get
get,
introduced next month then.
well, I have to have a public hearing before next month's meeting because there is, section 3 is enforcement and penalties. So the town marshal, like, and any police officer will be able to enforce those speed limits, similar to how they enforce state speed limits. Because it has an enforcement provision, you have to have a public hearing on it before adoption.
And we can schedule a public hearing right there, right before our meeting or during our meeting.
Correct. My general, general practice lately, just to, because we're all going to be here anyway, is to, rather than making us come separately, unless you all want to get it done quicker, which we can, and call a special meeting or a special public hearing, it's normally just to occur directly before next month's regular meeting.
Okay, I'll accept the motion for the resolution or the ordinance.
Ordinance number, yeah.
2025.
So, just real quick, why is there such a push for that area? I mean, I understand that, what makes,
You guys went along with it like 6 months ago at the board
yeah,
meeting.
I'm just saying, there's other people that complain about other areas, so, I mean, why aren't we worried about all Monroe opposed to just one area?
I just take them to them as I get them. You guys, you guys approved that 6 months ago and it's just
I'm
now
gonna
getting
accept
done.
it, but I'm just saying, like,
Well, we can address other areas.
I mean, I think,
I had a talk with Nathan. We went around and looked at all the alley intersections for all that issue. And I asked him what his thoughts were on lowering speed limits, and like my thought was with you.
yeah.
Sign's just a sign. That 15-mile-an-hour sign doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's enforcement that's only gonna fix it. And that is it.
Are we gonna have
So-
enforcement down there?
Well, now that you're gonna have 4 marshals on, you're gonna have a lot better
I think, yeah, that's.
productivity in town.
That's gonna be the biggest deterrent.
And he did say that he had everything, it sounds like everything's all in a line now, according to him, with what he needed, so, yeah, but that was his take on it too.
What's the likelihood of at least us putting more signs on Adams Street?
I mean, we can put a speed limit sign up there, but,
Let's just say two more.
I mean, yeah, $600, it's not, you know, that's all it is.
I mean, it does look bad when people.
All we gotta do, I mean,
Signs.
one on each end. I got one coming in off of 50 South. I need to double check and see if there's one coming off the highway, and we could drop 2 of them maybe like by Walnut Street and see, because that would be about the halfway point. You would go quite a ways without seeing the speed limit sign. I mean, you don't want them on top of each other.
Even if it's just one more in the middle, I think. it'd be
Well, I
fine.
mean, yeah, but you'll want one each direction, so
Right.
you'll put 2. So that, I mean, that's a matter of calling locates and ordering the sign. But,
At least it looked like we were taking in what they're, you know what I mean? Like, cause I've had multiple people say something about that, you know?
yeah. No, I get it. Drop it to 20 and they're running 40. They're still running 40 whether you have it at 30 or not.
Like our conversation, you know, those people aren't from town, you know, so they're not.
They drive that way everywhere.
Are there any signs on that stretch?
There's some, I mean, there's children that play signs.
No, I'm just talking about speed limit.
There's, I know there's one coming in. I put it up.
On Andrews and then Memorial.
I added the 15-mile-an-hour signs. Yeah.
So there are
There's
signs
a
of
15-mile-an-hour sign coming in and coming out.
Memorial?
Yeah.
Okay, but there's nothing on Andrews?
No, one on Andrews,
One on Andrews?
because Andrews and Memorial are tied together.
Yes.
So you got one on Andrews, and I thought I put one on Memorial too. I'll double check. I ordered 2 signs. I just need to double check, because the other one I ordered was no outlet. And we put that on the same sign as the speed limit sign. That way it maybe deter people from getting mad and putting the pedal to the metal to get down to the end and turn around.
I'll make a motion to accept ordinance 2025-7.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a way to, you gotta name every street for speed limit?
Yeah, you do.
It has to be named?
Yep.
What, I don't understand the
Well, like,
context of your question.
can't you just make a blanket ordinance that says
You could-
all town streets in town are 20 mile an hour?
Yes,
But then you gotta have a speed limit sign on every street?
yes.
See, and you're talking several $1,000s to do all that. There's not a lot of speed limit signs in town on your side streets. It's all, a lot of it's mostly just your inbound roads. So,
So is there an ordinance now that states that it has to be 30?
I don't even, I mean, state statute, I think,
that's
is
state
30.
statute.
Okay. For any kind.
Yeah, for like
Yeah.
town driving
Yeah,
and
correct.
otherwise.
Because, I mean, I live in the middle of Decatur, and the,
If we go.
it wasn't the people that were driving to the pool that were the worst drivers. I mean, it's my location and what's not there anymore that were the worst drivers, so.
Okay, what else we got?
Alrighty, the next one would be, did she get back to you with the resolution number at all?
She thought it was 6 and 5. Ordinance number 5 was what she had, and then she thought 6 was next, but
Resolution though, separate.
she said the same. Ordinance.
Regardless, okay, obviously this will be the next, the next in line resolution for 2025 after the preceding resolution, and I'll identify the number here at a later date. This would be short titled, a resolution to encumber funds for the park sidewalk project. As Justin previously discussed, this resolution goes through the requirements under Indiana law to basically say that, one, the town council has approved the project for the construction of a sidewalk at the park, which is defined herein as the project. The project may not be completed within the 2025 fiscal year due to potential delays such as inclement weather, and it is necessary and prudent to encumber the unspent funds appropriated for the project to ensure their availability for payment upon completion of the project in the subsequent fiscal year. Because of that, I put in here, the funds to be encumbered are from the sidewalk fund identified by fund number 110100142.001 in the amount of $14,810. This encumbrance is contingent upon the execution of a contract for the project. That's the entirety of it.
I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the resolution for the sidewalk.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0.
All right, and then not necessarily anything that you guys will have to sign, but first, as I previously mentioned and kind of explained during the conversation with Justin, I prepared, in light of this discussion, an interlocal agreement for property improvements. The parties of that agreement would be the Town of Monroe and the Board of Parks and Recreation. For instance, and just to edify everyone related to interlocal agreements are what they sound like. They're contracts just between different municipal organizations. And that's specifically identified and authorized in Indiana Code 3617, which authorizes local government units to enter into interlocal agreements for the joint exercise of powers and provision of services. Again, this agreement really goes to the scope and improvements and authority. So 1.1 of this agreement, the Parks Board would hereby grant the town, its employees, agents, and contractors a temporary license and right of entry upon the property for the sole purpose of constructing, installing, and maintaining the improvements as described herein, which the permitted improvements would be, and I kind of did it in one foul swoop, understanding that if this does take a long time, but we obviously have the intent behind it of the transfer, the permitted improvements, if the Parks Board was to authorize it, I put, it could be installation of new playground equipment, landscaping, construction of a pavilion, grading and site preparation, installation of walking paths and or sidewalk, etc. That would obviously cover anything, so we don't have to keep coming back to them prior to the transfer.
But there would be a good intent to still approach them about what we're wanting to do, correct?
I think every time we would want to do something, we should still say, hey, is it okay? Just more of approval, like pursuant to this agreement, you guys.
Not just doing it, but.
Yes,
Right.
yeah. Just out of courtesy, I would say, hey, I know we have this agreement, but we want to do this improvement. That's okay, right?
All right, fair.
Again, I went through section 2, which is, ownership and future transfer of the property. Section 3 goes through the town's responsibilities, which is, costs and funding, maintenance of those improvements, site management and restoration, repair of damage, if, that damage specifically improved by Town of Monroe is damaged. Park board's responsibilities would be access, cooperation in this agreement, and maintenance of existing property. So until the future transfer is complete, the Parks Board shall remain responsible for the general maintenance, management, and operation of the property, excluding the specific improvements constructed and maintained by the town under this agreement. There's just an indemnification and liability provision, a dispute resolution provision, governing law, which is obviously Indiana, and then miscellaneous clauses. So really, if you all approve of this, at least going to the Parks Board for presentation and approval, that's what motion I would ask for tonight.
I'll make that motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Does that give approval then to sign if they sign?
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll have you guys move again. I guess based on that explanation, if you all are comfortable with doing that, I guess it would be a motion for approval of this agreement so that you all may execute it upon the park board execution. So, one more time.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion for the approval.
Second.
All right.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Sorry. And then the last one is I have a proposed interlocal agreement for park funding. And that would be an agreement between the Town of Monroe and the Monroe Township. Based on discussion that Justin has had with representatives of the township, they would be willing to provide a funding commitment of $5,000 annually to the Town of Monroe for the purpose of supporting the park. I need to take that portion out, which I will before we present it, but the one restriction on that would be that the $5,000 funding commitment that money would be used for capital improvements only, so not used for routine maintenance, etc., but actually improving and making the park better. So again, I would just ask for a motion for approval of that, and then I will get your signatures, obviously, upon. And I'm doing it this way, I apologize if it sounds confusing. I'm doing it this way because these two agreements have not necessarily been provided to the other party to these agreements, so they may have proposed revisions. But if you already approve the general nature of them today, then I can make those revisions if needed, and you guys can still all sign after their execution.
I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion with the interlocal agreement with Monroe Township as read.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. 3-0.
And then I think, I guess this was slated for me to talk about kind of off agenda, but the clerk treasurer's office will have a little bit of a change in availability. I don't think that even the council or the clerk treasurer's office has specifics as to what that change looks like. And when I say change of availability, I mean there will be some closures that are not normal with the open hours right now, and that's simply due to personal reasons. So I would request that even that stay out of the media, the personal reasons part, but just that there will be some intermittent closures or intermittent unavailability of the clerk treasurer, at least to the public. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Clayton. Is there any other business? Does anybody else got anything they'd like to? Go ahead,
I'm
Chris.
sorry, I have one thing I forgot. Way less important than everything we were just talking about, but the light on the top of the water tower is not on, working.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I got the bulbs, but I was gone, so we're gonna get that taken care of.
I wasn't sure whose responsibility it was, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna climb, I was at a conference, so he wasn't climbing, and nobody else here. So, yeah, I don't know why they both went out at the same time, but yeah, they definitely are out.
Well, if there's, yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, guys, I had no intention to mention anything, but in talking about way less important, but one of the things that I've been asked about is if there's a thought to adding to the signage coming into town, recognition of the 2024 state championship football team. I think there's a 22,000 recognition out there, maybe?
Yeah, there's two out.
I got something for all that. Those signs need to be completely changed. They're rotten. They need, the whole shebang needs updated, coming in like both ends.
Okay.
I was informed because Monroe Trophy was updating another sign there for a church, I think, and it was really bad. I looked at it. It's not in good shape, so I need to get with him and find out what some options are to bring to you guys. And yeah,
Who did the 2000 sign that's out there?
it's either Mr. Walsh or Trophy, I think, one of the, do you know?
No clue.
25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I ever did know, I'd forgotten long ago.
It'd be, I don't know, maybe nice to do about the same thing, to just keep it.
Yeah, we keep it uniform, but I suppose it's probably rotted too, so if
Yeah,
it's
what I want to get together some good, nice looking ideas for signage that I can bring to you guys.
Do you think that that's something that the Booster Club would be entertained? As far as,
No, I'm not here on behalf of the Booster, I'm just kidding.
Steve and I can do that.
We're gonna have to
would it
consider.
be
I think-
smart for me
I-
to reach out to somebody on the
I think that, given the gigantic love for Adams Central football within the town of Monroe, if those, one, a reverberation, are you saying just the Monroe signs in general?
The Monroe sign in general, not just the signs hanging on them, but
I'm saying-
those are metal.
Correct, but if a project like that to provide new signs, one, I think the love of just this community, if really needed, other even local businesses might be willing to chip in, but then also if you're going to, one, maybe refurbish the home of 2000 state champs, and then also adding home of the 2024 state champs, I have a very strong feeling that whether it be local business owners, the school itself, or AC football fans would probably be very willing to help. As general as possible.
I will work on that and try and get something. I'm not gonna promise it'll be at the next board meeting, but I'd like to see something get fixed and put back up there before spring.
Yeah.
Or around spring, because the ground's gonna be too hard, so.
Okay, if there's no other things, I would entertain a motion for dismissal.
Make a motion to dismiss.
Hey, you know what, before we do that, also, I think our next board meeting, we gotta schedule that.
So,
Yeah, our next board meeting will be the 8th of January. The first falls on
the first falls on the first.
New Year's. I don't think anybody's gonna want to.
Well, January 1st is the, I didn't know that.
Okay, now that's it. Thank you, gentlemen.
I gotta get something from you here. Justin. Hey, Steve, we gotta get that sign on the football field changed also.
You know, there's a whole other thing.
I think we need to consult our lawyer on what the booster
already provided.
presentation.
Committed funding to do that.
I think we need to consult with our lawyer.
There's a whole different way they're gonna do all of these.
Hey, all I'm looking for is, hey, talk to that new
No, I'm sure.
They can happen.
What's our role? I didn't realize that anything was so freezing.
I'm not gonna discuss it all here.
That-
Sorry, I don't.
Okay, I will be the front for.
Yeah, I mean, we can, at some point, the council or the town can, maybe some specifics, but that's really all we're gonna talk about. For sure.
But you mentioned some numbers here, I gotta talk to Justin first, like later on. Let me get back to this. Is there a road? Is there a
Well, man,
That's Justin's thinking, just okay.
First meeting,
whenever you're showing those.
first meeting next month, or next year, I want to get your guys' pictures. It's like, when we- there's times I was like, I'm gonna dress up in this Hey, I can take whatever picture I have of you, I can put it in ChatGPT. I was messing, I had to do the meeting for the sewer board. I didn't even go to it, 'cause it's like, I'm not driving up there to Decatur for a 20-minute meeting. So I watched it live.
Probably still just.
They're scheduled to park.
Submitted about an hour.
They won't do any
I
business.
said,
That's, they know they have a holiday, they do.
I got on that like a fat
City,
guy on
county, park
Taco
board, and
Tuesday. I took a picture of myself holding a tortilla. Yeah, it was just an empty tortilla.
You don't mind, let's get that.
Yeah, sign those.
And I'll be happy to join you there.
Yeah, because they're signing the one that encumbers the money. And the board.
But that interlocal agreement, that's the reason we tolerate attorneys, so they can come up with crap like that. That sounded really good, Clayton, I like it a lot.
It's sometimes
Other than
it
that, we
falls,
wouldn't tolerate those guys.
sometimes it falls right along that fine line of over-engineered.
Yeah.
People ask me how.
Am I able to sign that?
Oh, God, yeah.
And mowing them. People are getting tired of mowing them.
You know?
Okay.
Am I allowed to sign these on behalf of the town as the superintendent? I mean, I have signed stuff like this before, but, like, that's for MLS, and this was for the concrete. That's budgeted.
My kids, I only
This
held
is
an
not-
empty
It was approved at the board meeting.
tortilla.
They approved
And
it.
That is awesome.
And I added, I just wanted to say that.
You used as needed.
Fill the tacos, and I put that taco.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
And
that
I
was cool.
turned into a cartoon.
That's amazing.
It is
Okay.
crazy.
No,
No,
I was
it
talking to
was,
Chris.
you know, being about.
I was talking to Chris.
Oh, I thought he was gonna go down there.
Schaefer, she was Andy Schaefer's sister.
Eric, you need to pay attention, so you don't have to hit me.
You got, yes. Oh, it's on the air.
Like,